Hello, world. Welcome, I am your host Mr. Stag. Today we will be discussing the lost fortune of Yasumitsu Shigeta and his company, Hikari Tsushin, Inc. Hikari Tsushin, Inc. operates today as a holding company which engages in the office automation and telecommunications business. It operates through the following segments: corporate, shop and insurance. The corporate segment provides the office automation equipment sales, subscription agency communication services, and corporate mobile communication services. It also engages in the sale of communication-related products, such as business phones, OA equipment, UTMs, and servers. The shop segment sells mobile phone units and peripheral equipment. The insurance segment operates insurance agency focusing on third sector insurance. The company also provides internet communication line, content, electricity, industry-specific IT solutions, water delivery services. Yasumitsu Shigeta was born February 25, 1965, is a Japanese telecommunications billionaire businessman. Born in Tokyo, he grew up in a family where his father was a lawyer. After graduating from Sugamo High School, he entered a vocational school for acupuncture and moxibustion, but immediately dropped out. After that, he entered the Faculty of Economics at Nihon University, but dropped out immediately. Shigeta always wanted to be an entrepreneur and he realized school was not teaching him how to be one. After working for a company that sells telephone subscription rights, he founded Hikari Tsushin Co., Limited in February 1988. To start his company, Shigeta used $8,000 he had saved working as a waiter. He was once fired from one of his jobs as waiter 2 days after starting. It was 1988, and at age 22 he saw that the future lay in telecommunications. The merger between the Internet and mobile communications would create a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Shigeta. Initially, the business started as a contract agency for DDI, currently KDDI, a leading telecom company in Japan, but the center of the business was changed to the mobile phone sales business, and the company grew rapidly. The first years as a telemarketer were slow, but Shigeta was laying plans. Every time his employees made calls, they also gathered and input data on the targets. He began building what is now a databank of 7 million potential customers. Opportunity really came knocking in 1994, when a series of restrictions on the mobile phone industry were lifted and new carriers started up. The new companies were so busy with technical development they had neglected sales outlets. Shigeta jumped. He was given a commission for landing customers, an average of $380 a customer. To deter him from churning, the companies cut him between 5% and 10% of customers' monthly phone bills for as long as they stayed put, which could be years. Shigeta's genius was to realize that the commission plus the monthly cut were so potentially lucrative that he should give away the phones, unless they were really hot new models. He shares a big part of the commission with his franchisees. $1.1 billion of last year's revenues were passed through to them, and Hikari has costs for each customer sign-up, but the monthly revenue stream is almost all profit. It was a no-risk, high-return business according to Shigeta. Originally, his financing for phone purchases came from banks. When he was 26, he had taken out $60 million worth of loans, which I had personally guaranteed, even though the company only had $950,000 in capital. In 1996, the company went public and Shigeta became the youngest CEO of a public Japanese company at age of 31. Once the company was listed on the Tokyo OTC market in 1996, he had access to equity and other types of direct financing. In 1999, at the age of 34, he became the youngest in history to have a company listed on the first section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange. In 1999, he was introduced to the U.S. economic magazine Forbes as the world's fifth richest person with $25 billion in personal wealth. At the stock's peak he ranked behind Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Paul Allen and Masayoshi Son. Shigeta was Japan's #1 phone salesman, with 2,000 outlets. Hikari expanded sales 20-fold in 6 years to $2.5 billion, with profits nearly doubling each year to $68 million. In addition, he led the IT bubble at that time and became an outside director of SoftBank Corp. On May 31, 1999. However, in March 2000, immediately after the stock price hit a new high, Bunge Shunju, a Japanese publishing company, reported that a large number of fictitious mobile phone contracts had been made in order to receive incentives paid by mobile carriers. 2 weeks later, the company announced that it would fall from the previous forecast of 6 billion yen surplus to 13 billion yen deficit, and the stock price, which was at an all-time high of 40,000 yen, plummeted to the 3,600 yen level, 1/67th the price of the all-time high. At the turn of the century, his fortune peaked at $42 billion, but when the Japanese IT bubble burst, Shigeta's stock in Hikari Tsushin decreased from $40 billion to $600 million in value. Shigeta owned 62% of Hikari Tsushin, Inc. at the time. Yasumitsu Shigeta, president of Japan's cellular phone retailer Hikari Tsushin Inc., had the fastest-growing fortune of anyone in the world, but it quickly went to the fastest-sinking fortune of anyone in the world. Also in 2000, Shigeta resigned as an outside director of SoftBank Corp. Since 2000, he has focused on business restructuring, has made a business transformation centered on Sharp's copier sales and leasing. He invested 10 billion yen in private property to rebuild the optical communications business. In 2003, he became chairman and CEO again, and in 2004, he achieved profitability and succeeded in rebuilding the business. Shigeta rejoined the Forbes billionaires list in 2005 when shares of Hikari Tsushin Inc. rebounded. In 2021, Shigeta is in 8th place in Japan's billionaire ranking according to Forbes. Hikari Tsushin's current stock price at the time of this video is 18,800 yen with a market cap of 854.08 billion yen. The stock is currently overvalued according to Simply Wall Street by 25.9% with a fair value price of 14,932.64. The company has a P/E ratio of 13.9% and P/B ratio of 2.1%. Tsushin currently pays a 2.5% dividend and it has a payout ratio of 35%. Earnings per share of 1.35k, a gross margin of 51.82%, a net profit margin of 10.89, and a debt-to-equity ratio of 127.40%. The company's earnings growth has been consistent, but compared to the industry it is in Japan it is lagging. Yasumitsu Shigeta currently owns 2.64% of Hikari Tsushin. Yasumitsu Shigeta almost lost it all during .com crash. Luckily, he managed to save his company by turning it into an office equipment supplier, internet services provider and call center operator. Tell us what you think about the story of Yasumitsu Shigeta and the future of Japan and Hikari Tsushin in the comment section below. Mr. Stag logging off.